You've been waiting for money to come for months, maybe years. You pray, you do your part, you work hard, but the bills never add up. The due date is tomorrow and you don't know where the money will come from. Your credit card is maxed out. Rent is late again, and it feels like heaven is closed to you. I need to tell you something now before you give up. God is about to put an amount in your hands that will leave you speechless. Money that doesn't come from your salary. It doesn't come from your effort. It doesn't come from any calculation. It comes from God. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly the 3 signs that prove this financial blessing is already on its way to your life, why it took so long to arrive, and what you need to do today, still today, to unlock this miracle that already has your name on it. Stay with me until the end, because the 3rd sign is the most powerful of all, and almost no one notices when it appears. Before I continue, I want you to do one simple thing. Write the word "I receive" in the comments, that's it. Write it with faith, write it believing, because when you declare with your mouth what you want to see happen in your life, the entire universe begins to move in your favor. And subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because the next videos will give you spiritual tools that few people know, and I don't want you to miss any. Now tell me something. Have you ever had that strange feeling, that tightness in your chest, that something is stuck in your financial life? You look at your journey and realize that other people, with less effort, achieve more. Your neighbor bought a new car. Your cousin went to the beach. Your colleague bought an apartment. And you, who wake up early, who bend over backward, who work overtime, who deal with traffic, who give up so many things, remain in the same place. Worse, sometimes it feels like you're going backward. If this is happening to you, pay close attention, because what I'm about to tell you could change everything. There's something called a spiritual financial block. And no, this isn't cheap coach talk, it's not internet mysticism. This is a reality that both science and spirituality recognize, each in their own way. Neuroscience has already proven that our brain has what researchers call a financial thermostat. It's a mental value, programmed within you since childhood, that defines how far you can prosper. If your thermostat was programmed for 2,000 Rs a month, even if you earn 10,000, you will unconsciously sabotage your life to return to 2,000. You'll incur debts, spend on nonsense, miss opportunities, argue with clients, ruin your relationship with your boss, all to return to the financial comfort zone that was marked in your mind. And where was this marked? Way back, when you heard your father come home from work saying that money doesn't grow on trees, when your mother said that rich people are all thieves, when you heard in church that it was easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, when you saw in soap operas the villain being the businessman and the hero being the honest poor man. All of this entered your head and formed what spiritualists call the identity of scarcity. You got used to being poor. You identified with lack. And as long as you see yourself this way, no amount of money will last in your hands. And look how serious this is. A recent survey showed that more than 78% of adult Brazilians are in debt, and most cannot identify the real cause of this situation. People blame the government, blame the economy, blame the boss, blame destiny. But the root is almost always within, in that mental programming that comes from childhood. As long as you don't see this, you will continue running on a treadmill that leads nowhere. And that's why so many Brazilian families pass from generation to generation in the same situation. The grandfather was poor, the father was poor, the son remains poor. It's not genetics, it's not a curse. It's spiritual and mental programming that no one breaks. Now I ask you, has it ever happened to you to receive unexpected money and in a few weeks it simply disappears? You can't even explain where it went. The refrigerator broke. The car broke down. A debt you had forgotten appeared. Your tooth started to hurt. And the money evaporated. This is not a coincidence. This is your spiritual financial thermostat pulling you back to the value it considers normal. And as long as you don't break this pattern, no blessing will be able to stay. But calm down. I said that God has an amount to put in your hands and that promise is real. But for it to be fulfilled, you need to understand 3 signs that heaven sends when a financial blessing is coming. And the first sign is the most subtle of all, but you are probably already feeling it now. The first sign is restlessness. You know that anguish that's been squeezing you lately? That feeling that you no longer fit where you are. You look at your job and feel it's too small. You look at your house and want more. You look at your car, your routine, your empty refrigerator at the end of the month, and feel an internal revolt, a desire to break everything and start over. Many people confuse this with depression, with a midlife crisis, with burnout. But know that this restlessness is spiritual. It's God stirring you from within because the time for change is coming. When heaven is about to bless you, it first bothers you. First, it takes you out of the comfort of poverty. Because if you are comfortable with little, you will never extend your hands to receive much. Think about the story of Abraham. God didn't speak to him for the first time when he was lying on a hammock drinking juice. God called Abraham and told him to leave his land, leave his father's house, leave everything familiar. Why? Because the blessing was somewhere else. And for you to receive what God has set aside for you, you will also need to leave. Leave small thinking. Leave the circle of friends that only pulls you down. Leave that victim mentality. Leave the conformity of earning little and saying it's because of the government, the crisis, destiny, bad luck. And look at the symptoms of this restlessness you might be feeling right now. Insomnia for no apparent reason, wanting to cry out of nowhere, irritation with things that didn't bother you before, a feeling that time is passing too quickly, a desire to do something different but you don't know what. All of this is your spirit crying out for change. It's like a plant that has outgrown its pot. It no longer fits. It needs to be transplanted to a larger place. And you are in this moment now. You no longer fit in your current reality. That's why it hurts so much to stand still. If you are feeling this restlessness, celebrate. Because this is proof that you are about to receive something great. But there are still two more signs. And the second is where most people get stuck and lose the blessing. Stay with me. The second sign is the test. Before God gives you a large sum, he puts you through a small test. And here lies the secret that few people understand. Have you ever stopped to think why so many people who win the lottery lose everything in a few years? Surveys show that more than 70% of millionaire prize winners end up poorer than they were before. And the explanation isn't just financial, it's spiritual. They received a blessing that their soul was not prepared to carry. The container was leaky. It's no use pouring water into a cracked glass. So God, in his wisdom, gives you small opportunities before the big one. It could be an extra job that appeared. It could be an offer to sell an old item. It could be a chance for you to do a side hustle on the weekend. It could be someone asking for advice that you could charge for. And here's the point. How you react to these small opportunities determines whether you will receive the big ones. If you waste the 1,000 rees that appear, you won't receive the 100,000. If you complain about earning 300 more, you won't earn 30,000 more. The spiritual realm works like this. Whoever is faithful in little is faithful in much. And there's another dimension to this test that no one tells you about. It's the test of generosity. How interesting. Almost always, before a big financial turnaround, someone in need appears in your life. It could be a relative in trouble, an unemployed friend, a situation on the street that touches your heart, a donation campaign. And you face that dilemma. Do I help or do I keep? Most people keep, and most people remain stuck in scarcity. Because the channel of prosperity is the same channel of generosity. When you close your hand to give, you close your hand to receive. I'm not saying you should go out and spend what you don't have. I'm saying you should plant wisely. Because whoever plants with faith reaps with abundance. The Bible says in Luke 6:38 that it is by giving that we receive. And quantum physicists today say the same thing in different words. Everything in the universe is energy in motion. Money is energy. When you dam this energy, it rots in your hands. When you make it circulate, it returns multiplied. That's why the truly rich, those who prosper from generation to generation, are the biggest donors. They understood the secret. You need to understand it too. Think about the great fortunes in Brazil and the world. Behind almost all of them, there is a foundation, a social work, an active donation structure. It's not a coincidence. It's not just marketing. It's applied spiritual principle. Whoever gives, receives. Whoever holds back, loses. And look how interesting. Many humble people in Brazil, in the Northeast, in the interior, in needy communities, have understood this in a way that many rich people haven't. Those ladies who share their bread with the neediest neighbor, those simple men who help a friend pay a bill, these are the ones who live constant miracles. because heaven observes the heart, not the bank balance. Now I ask you, when was the last time you helped someone financially, even with a little? Think about it. And if the answer is a while ago or never, then that might be one of the keys to your block. But calm down, because God's grace is new every morning, and you can start today. And that's exactly what the third sign is about, the most powerful of all. This is the sign that will confirm to you that inexplicable money is about to fall into your hands. Pay attention, because this is where everything connects. The third sign is peace in the midst of the storm. This seems contradictory, I know. How can there be peace if my account is negative, if I don't know how to pay for my children's school, if the company is laying off and I could be next? But that's exactly where the miracle lies. When God is about to give you something, He gives you a peace that no one understands. You wake up in the middle of the worst crisis of your life, open your eyes, and instead of panic, you feel a strange certainty. A certainty that says it will work out. It will appear, it will be resolved. Don't ask where from, don't ask how, but you just know. This peace is the divine seal. It's the confirmation that your prayer has been heard. The ancients used to say that when the angel of prosperity approaches your home, the first gift he brings is not money, it's tranquility, because anxiety closes paths. Despair drives away abundance. Those in panic don't see opportunities. Those in peace notice the door that opened, the right person who appeared, the idea that came out of nowhere at 3 in the morning. And look how fascinating. Neuroscience confirms this. When you are stressed, your brain goes into survival mode, and it shuts down the creative areas, the long-term planning areas, the opportunity recognition areas. You become intentionally stupid because your body thinks you are being attacked by a lion. But when you are at peace, even in the midst of crisis, your brain accesses prosperity mode. You think better. You speak better. You attract people. You recognize opportunities where before you only saw problems. That's why the richest men and women in the world practice meditation, prayer, contemplation. It's not fussiness. It's spiritual and neurological strategy. And this peace doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from the money arriving first. It doesn't come from the problem being solved. It comes from an internal decision. You decide to trust. You decide to surrender. You decide to stop carrying alone what you were never meant to carry. There's an old saying that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not yet seen. That's exactly it. You feel peace, not because the problem is over, but because you know, deep down, that it will be resolved. And it is in this state of peace that miracles happen, because you become available to receive. Now let me tell you a story so you never forget. I met a woman named Mrs. Marlene. 58 years old, widowed, 2 children to raise. She worked as a cleaner in 3 houses in Chicago. Her life was a struggle. She told me that in a certain month, she couldn't pay rent. She was 800 Rs short. She had 300, and she told me something that marked me. Son, I came home that day, opened the Bible, and instead of asking God for money, I gave thanks. I thanked Him for what I had, for my health, for my boys, for my work. And then I took 50 Rs from the 300 I had, went to the corner, and gave it to a man who was begging. I knew it was crazy. I needed every cent. But something inside me told me to do it. And you know what happened? 3 days later, one of her employers for no reason came and said, Marlene, I was cleaning out the closet and found an envelope that belonged to my late husband. It had 6,000 Rs. I don't need it, and I feel this money is yours, take it. 6,000 Rs for a woman who needed 800, this is God's math. You give 50 with faith, you receive 6,000 without explanation. Your brain can't understand it. No spreadsheet can balance this account. But this is how the spiritual world works. And I could tell you dozens of similar stories. About Mr. John from Kansas, who was about to lose the farm he inherited from his father. He owed 30,000 Rs, and the bank was going to take everything. He told me that one early morning, unable to sleep, he knelt down and did what he called the prayer of surrender. He said, Lord, if I'm going to lose it, I'll lose it. But I won't let go of your hand. That same week, a nephew he hadn't seen in 15 years returned from the United States and knocked on his door. He was looking for a property to invest in. He bought half the farm for 60,000 Rs, freeing Mr. John from debt and still leaving him with land to work. Coincidence? There are no coincidences when it comes to God. There's also the story of Mrs. Lucia from Miami, a seamstress widowed with a special needs granddaughter to care for. She owed more than $15,000 on her credit card and was ashamed to even leave the house. On a Wednesday, she told me, she decided to fast for 3 days on water only. Not because she thought it would change the situation. It was just an act of surrender. On the second day of the fast, she received a call from a uniform company urgently needing a seamstress for a large government order. She accepted. In 4 months, she paid off all her debts and even bought a new machine. Do you think this was luck? Or was it an answer to prayer? And I want you to know, what happened to Mrs. Marlene, to Mr. John, to Mrs. Lucia, can happen to you, not because they were special, but because God is just. He has an amount reserved for you. It could be compensation you don't even remember. It could be a debt someone will pay you back after years. It could be an unexpected sale. It could be an inheritance you didn't know existed. It could be a tax refund higher than expected. It could be a job that appears with a salary above market. It could be a promotion. It could be a new client that will change everything. It could be a prize. It could be a door you didn't even know existed. But it will come. If you are believing with me this far, comment the word Amen now and mark this moment, because everything declared with faith has the power to manifest. And if this video makes sense to you, leave a like, because the algorithm will deliver this message to more people who need to hear it, and you will be planting a seed of blessing in the lives of others. This is one of the ways to activate the prosperity channel I told you about. Now I'm going to give you the most important part of this video, what you need to do today, still today, to unlock this financial inflow in your life. It's nothing complicated. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require time. It only requires a decision. Write this down or come back to this part of the video later, because each of these steps is a key that unlocks a spiritual lock. The first step is forgiveness. I know you didn't expect to hear this in a video about money, but it's the most neglected truth there is. Research in the field of psychosomatics shows that held grudges create blocks in various areas of life, including finances. When you hold resentment towards someone, you remain spiritually connected to that person, and their energy drains yours. It's like trying to charge your phone while it's also discharging to another device. You can't accumulate battery. Think about the people who hurt you, the ex who cheated on you, the partner who stole from you, the boss who humiliated you, the relative who disappointed you, the person who said something about you that you never forgot. Today, now, even with this pain, you decide to forgive. It's not for them, it's for you. It's to release the channel. It's to stop feeding with your energy a situation that has already passed. When you forgive, you close energetic doors that were draining you, and you open heaven over your life. Many people who truly forgave testified that within a few weeks their financial life began to improve. It's not magic, it's spiritual law. And look, I know forgiveness is one of the hardest things there is. I'm not minimizing your pain. Some things hurt too much. Some betrayals cut deep. Some words have been etched. But you need to understand one thing. As long as you don't forgive, you are the one who is trapped, not the other person. The other person is living their life, sleeping peacefully, not thinking about you. And you are there, years later, still carrying that weight. Let go. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Say the prayer of spiritual detachment. Say it out loud. I give you up, I let you go, I am no longer responsible for what you did or didn't do. I release myself from this bond now. And feel the weight leaving. Because it really does leave. And when this weight leaves, space opens for new things to enter. The second step is to change your vocabulary. The words you speak create the world you live in. Quantum physicists have discovered that sound has structure, has form, has an effect on matter. Every word you utter vibrates at a specific frequency, and that frequency attracts people, situations, and opportunities that vibrate at the same frequency. When you say 100 times a day, I have no money, it's hard, I can't. That's not for us. My family has always been poor. You are literally programming your energy field to remain the same. You need to cut these phrases. Today. Now. Replace them with new declarations. Money comes to me easily. I am a channel of prosperity. Everything I touch prospers. God has more than enough for me. You'll feel ashamed at first. It will seem like a lie. It will seem forced. But keep going. Because you've spent your whole life programming your brain for scarcity, it will take a little time to reprogram for abundance. In 3 weeks of saying new things, feeling new things, you will see changes. And pay attention to something. Be careful what you say about others too. When you say so-and-so only has money because they're crooked, all rich people are dishonest. Those successful people are all stuck up. You are sending a message to your subconscious that being rich is a bad thing. And your subconscious, which loves you and wants to protect you, will do everything to prevent you from becoming what you consider bad. Result, you remain poor. To protect you from becoming what you criticize, therefore start admiring prosperity. Start rejoicing in the success of others. When your neighbor buys something new, instead of envy, say, "That's great, now it's my turn." When a friend gets promoted, celebrate with them. This change in attitude opens supernatural doors in your life. The third step is to act as if you have already received. This is extremely powerful. Masters of Prosperity teach a principle called the law of assumption. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So if you want to be prosperous, you need to start feeling prosperous before you have the money. How? With small symbolic gestures. Tidy your wallet. Take out that pile of old papers, crumpled receipts, expired cards. Put real money in there, even if it's little, and organized, with the bills facing the same way from smallest to largest. Seems silly? It's not. You are sending a message to your subconscious. This is a place for quality money. Clean your house. Money doesn't stay in a messy environment. Especially clean the entrance to your home, because that's where the energy of abundance passes. Throw away what you don't use. Donate what you don't need. Empty space is an invitation for new things to arrive. And more. Start dressing a little better even at home. You don't need to spend money. Just use what you already have more carefully. Have you noticed how we take less care of ourselves when we are financially struggling? And how that becomes a cycle? We become sloppy, sad, discouraged, unproductive, poorer. Break this cycle. Take a calm shower. Put on a nice perfume. Comb your hair. Smile in the mirror. You are building a new version of yourself that deserves to prosper. And this new version is what will be seen by the eyes of heaven as ready to receive. Another important thing. Take care of the money you have today, even if it's little. You know that crumpled bill at the bottom of your purse? That coin on the floor of your room? That change that disappeared in the drawer? You are sending a bad message to the universe. You are saying, "Money is not important to me, I don't respect it," and the universe listens. Treat every cent with respect. Keep it carefully. Count it attentively. It's not attachment, it's reverence. Whoever honors little multiplies. Whoever despises little loses even what they have. The fourth and final step is to seal the pact. Take a piece of paper now, or do it as soon as you finish the video. Write down the exact amount you need. Don't make a timid request. Put the real amount. If you need 5,000, write 5,000. If you need 50,000, write 50,000. If you need 500,000 to pay off a debt, write 500,000. Put today's date, the amount, and write below. I thank God because this amount is already coming to me in an honest, fair, and abundant way. Sign it. Fold the paper. Keep it in your Bible, in your favorite book, under your pillow, or in your wallet. And every day before you sleep and when you wake up, touch that paper and give thanks, as if you had already received it. This is the secret of the ancients. They didn't ask, they gave thanks. Because to give thanks is to declare that it is already yours. And what is already yours, no one can take away. I guarantee that if you follow these 4 steps with faith, within 90 days your financial life will take a turn that will impress you. I'm not promising you'll become a millionaire overnight. I'm saying that the channel that was clogged will begin to flow. And when water starts to flow, it cleans everything in its path. Small doors will open. Small amounts will start coming in. Opportunities will appear. And at some point, when you least expect it, that inexplicable amount will come. The one that will make you cry. The one that will make you call someone and say, trembling, "You won't believe what happened." And then you will know, you will be sure, that God heard you, that God saw you, that God never abandoned you. But I need to warn you about something, because I'm not one of those who just paints a rosy picture. There's a trap that destroys 90% of people just when the blessing starts to arrive. And this trap has a name: haste. When you start to see the first signs, when the first amount comes in, when the first opportunity appears, there's a desire to burn through it all at once. You want to pay off all your debts, buy everything you deprived yourself of, show off to the relatives who doubted you. Then you spend poorly. You'll buy on impulse. You lend to people who won't pay back. You take on installments you can't afford. And in a few months you're worse off than before, because your mind wasn't ready yet. You grew on the outside, but remained small on the inside. So when the money comes, and it will come, take a deep breath. Don't make big decisions in the first 72 hours. Pray. Talk to wise people. Make a list of real priorities. Set aside a portion to give, a portion to save, a portion to invest in yourself, and a portion to allow yourself a symbolic pleasure. This balance is what will ensure that the next blessing is even greater, because God observes how you manage little before entrusting you with much. And there's another trap that needs to be mentioned: the secret trap. When the blessing starts to arrive, don't go around broadcasting it to everyone. You know that old proverb that says, "The evil eye exists"? It does. Not in the sense that someone else will cast a curse on you, but in the sense that envy generates a negative vibration that can hinder the process. There are things you need to keep to yourself. Share only with those very few people you know genuinely root for you, and even with them in moderation. The blessing needs discretion to grow. It's like a seed. You don't keep digging it up to see if it sprouted. Leave it underground in the dark, in peace, and when the time is right, it will appear beautifully for everyone to see. You're reaching the end of this video, and I want you to feel something. Feel your chest, it's beating differently, isn't it? There's a new hope sprouting inside. Don't ignore it. This is the Spirit confirming to you that this message was made for you. It wasn't by chance that you opened YouTube today. It wasn't by chance that this video appeared to you. It wasn't by chance that you're reaching the end when millions of people would have given up in the first few minutes. You are different. You were chosen to receive this word. And now it's time for you to decree with faith. Raise your right hand to the sky, even if you're on the bus, at work, lying in bed. Raise it and repeat with me out loud or in your heart: I now receive the financial blessing that is set aside for me. I break every spiritual block, every financial curse, every negative word that has been declared over my life. I declare that I am abundance, I am prosperity, I am a channel of blessing. Money flows to me easily, honestly, abundantly. I am worthy to receive. I am worthy to prosper. I am a child of the Most High God, and in His name I decree that my finances are being restored starting today. Amen. There, you've just made a powerful decree. Now hold on to that faith. Don't let anyone take away this conviction. When someone comes with a pessimistic face, saying things are tough, talking about crisis, recession, unemployment, smile inside and think, it may be tough for the world, but for me, God has already decreed something else. And when doubt strikes, and it will strike, because the enemy of your soul doesn't want you to prosper, come back to this video. Watch it again. Reread the comments of others who are on the same journey. Renew your faith, because the battle for your prosperity is more spiritual than material. And to finish, I want to ask you for 3 things. The first is, comment in this video what you are expecting God to do in your financial life. It could be an amount, a situation, a door you want to see open. Write it with faith. Because every word written here becomes a prayer that ascends, and others who read it will pray with you. Imagine the power of that. Hundreds, thousands of people praying for each other. There's nothing more powerful than that. The second thing is, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, leave a like. I know you've heard this 1,000 times in 1,000 videos, but it's different here. Here we are a community of faith. Here we grow together. And the next videos will deliver even deeper words, even stronger spiritual techniques that will accelerate this transformation that began in you today. Don't miss any. And the third thing, perhaps the most important, share this video with someone who needs to hear this word. That friend who is struggling, that unemployed cousin, that neighbor who lost her husband and is raising her children alone, that colleague who is at rock bottom. When you share, you become an instrument of blessing for another person. And one of the oldest laws of the universe is this: whoever brings light to others receives double light. By planting blessings, you reap blessings. You didn't get this far for nothing. Remember that. In a week, in a month, in 3 months, when that inexplicable amount falls into your hands, when you taste the miracle happening, remember this moment. Remember that on a Sunday, a Thursday, in the early morning you watched a video that told you exactly what you needed to hear. And come back here to share it in the comments. I will read it, and I will rejoice with you. Because your victory is our victory. May God bless your life. May God restore all that was stolen. May God multiply all that you have planted in silence. May God give you not only what you need, but what you deserve. May every tear you have cried be transformed into joy. May every sleepless night you spent worrying turn into rest. May every denial you heard turn into a yes. May every door that was slammed in your face be replaced by 10 new ones opening. Go with faith. The turnaround has already begun, and the best of your life, financially speaking, is yet to come. I'll see you in the next video.